First we'll slowly recite the refuge together, thinking of the words, the meaning of the words. Sangye chedan zoge janala Changjo bata tani kyaze chi Tagi jinza yebe zonam ki Trala penje sangye Trubara jo sangye chedan zoge janam la Changjo bata tani kyaze chi Tagi jinzo yebe zonangi Trola penje sangye ro pajo sangye chedan zoge janam Changjo bata tani kyase chi Tagi jinzo yebe zonangi Trola penje sangye I go for refuge until I'm enlightened, to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Particularly, in order to achieve full awakening for the sake of all sentient beings, I need the means that would allow me to transform my mind, to eliminate all of the mental afflictions of attachment and anger and so on. And two of the most powerful weapons in this are awareness of the absolute nature of reality, the empty nature of all phenomena, and awareness of the impermanence, the moment by moment changing nature of everything. So now, first of all, try to bring up an awareness of this strong sense of I that we have all the time. Right at this very moment, we might think, I'm sitting here. We don't think my body's sitting here, my mind's sitting here. We think I'm sitting here. We think I'm meditating. We don't think my mind's meditating. My body's meditating. I'm meditating. As if there were an I that leads a life separate from and independent of our body and mind. Whereas in fact that is really not the case. The I that's meditating is merely labeled upon the mind meditating, and also on the body being in a particular physical posture. I am here is labeled on my body being here. It is never the case where my body is here, my body and mind are here, and I'm elsewhere. And then try to cultivate an awareness of that sense of an I independent of the aggregates, the body and mind. And also then try to cultivate an insight or an awareness of the fact that whenever our destructive emotions arise, when we get angry with people, situations, there's always this sense of an I, independent of my body-mind, that same sense of an I that has this independent existence from the body and mind. That sense of an I is there very strongly. And if there weren't that sense of I, then it wouldn't be possible to get angry. It wouldn't be possible for the attachment to arise. Just like when Rinpoche says, as long as you remain within the awareness that everything is merely labeled from the side of the mind, then anger just can't happen. Attachment can't happen. Jealousy and resentment and so forth can't happen. In fact, the I is merely labeled through depending upon the aggregates, or through depending upon the body and mind. Which means, in fact, what happens is our body and mind, something that's going on in our body and mind appears to us, and then we label, I'm ill, I'm happy, I'm angry. And then we have this feeling, there is an appearance to our mind of an I, independent of body and mind, that's getting angry, that's ill and so on. Whereas in fact that I doesn't exist, because all that there is an I that's merely labelled depending upon the aggregates. And so with all phenomena. So try to think everything which is myself and others, all beings, everything else other than people, the objects around us, they all seem as if they're not merely labelled, as if they exist from their own side, whereas in fact they're merely labelled from the side of the mind, merely imputed or merely projected from the side of the mind. In fact, everything which exists, myself, my friends, my possessions, my job, the people I work with, everything in my life is merely labelled from the side of the mind. So that the way things appear, the way that all of these appear, is totally false, because the way of appearing is as if they were not merely labelled by the mind. There's nothing which appears to us which seems like it's merely labelled by the mind, merely labelled from the side of the mind. Everything is empty, just like a star, or just like stars. When it's dark, the stars appear. The darker the night is, the more brilliantly the stars appear. Just like the more strong our ignorance is, the more strongly things appear to be inherently existent, existing from their own side. Like when there's a very strong emotion, then that's when you get the strongest sense of an I. And then during the daytime, there's no such appearance. You can't see the stars, just like for the Arya's direct, non-conceptual awareness of how things really are. The mind that actually sees how things really are doesn't see any inherent existence, doesn't see anything not merely labelled. Nothing appears that way to such a mind. So spend a few minutes thinking about that one, please. everything, I myself, all my friends, everybody around us here, in this room, everything we can see is totally empty of existing as it appears, just like a defective view. So the one that's particularly talked about here is an illness, which makes it seem like there are hairs falling, and you think that they're really there. Maybe it's like when we, sometimes in certain circumstances, you have the appearance of like these little particles or something floating about in front of your eyes, and you catch yourself actually looking at them as if there was something over there to look at, whereas in fact it's just an appearance that's created by the situation, your eyes, some kind of defect. Or maybe it's quite normal, but anyway, there's that appearance. Because of the eyes, there's that appearance of something over there, whereas when it's actually not there at all. So all phenomena appear so convincingly, inherently existent over there. But in actual fact, this appearance is a product of our ignorance and is not true at all, can't be relied upon at all. And all causative phenomena are like a butter lamp. Once the fuel, in this case the butter, once the butter and the wick are used up, then there's no more light. It's over. So just like that, our lives, everything around us, the lives of the people around us, situations, this situation, because of certain causes and conditions coming together, then we were here, and we were here with Rinpoche. And the causes and conditions came to an end, and it couldn't happen anymore. Rinpoche is no longer with us. Due to certain causes and conditions, we're here together at the moment. But the butter and the wick are getting very close to their end, and then this situation will also come to an end. It'll be all over. So just like that, all causative phenomena. Myself, my friends, my family, everything. Everything which exists is like an illusion. This is useful for understanding how different things appear and are understood in different ways by different people. So, the person who creates the illusion, so even if you've never seen an illusion, some kind of magical display, you can still understand the process. The person who casts the spell, who creates the illusion, they see the illusion because they're also affected by the spell. But they don't believe it. They know it's just an illusion. In the same way that the person who's realized emptiness, things appear the same way as before, but they know it's not true. So there's no grasping. The people in the audience, they see the illusion and they believe it. They have no idea that it's an illusion. They completely believe it. Just like those who have not realized emptiness. Things appear to exist from their own side. And then they believe that appearance. And then this whole range of problems arises. All of the delusions arise. And all of the karma that we create. And all the suffering that we experience as a result. And then the person who comes along afterwards doesn't see the illusion and doesn't believe it. Just like the fully enlightened being cannot see things in a mistaken way, so they don't see inherent existence. Things don't appear inherently existent to them, and they don't believe it. Just like Just like that, just like the person who comes afterwards. All causative phenomena, such as ourselves, our bodies, our possessions, our enemies, everything. Though they seem so enduring while they're there, they seem to have this kind of solid, enduring characteristic, but this is completely deceptive. In actual fact, they're just like a dewdrop or a water bubble. The dewdrop, for a moment it seems to have some kind of substantial presence, but it can fall at any moment, and the bubble looks so nice. Although when you think about it, of course you know that it's very fragile, but it seems to have some kind of solidity, and then suddenly it pops. It can pop any moment. So just like that. Ourselves, friends, enemies and possessions, our situation, our position, our work, all of these, no matter how they might seem to our mind that is so habituated in grasping at things as being static and enduring, they can change at any moment. Everything exists is also like a dream. During the dream, it all seems so real. Although in actual fact, everything that's appearing to our minds is a creation of our minds. There's nothing actually there in the sense that, to use a classic example, they say if you're dreaming, you might dream of an elephant. Where you are when you're dreaming is in your room. But there was no elephant in your room. When you wake up, you know that you dreamt of the elephant, but there was no elephant there. So there's nothing to get attached to. There's nothing to be afraid of. The appearance of things as if they were existing from their own side is a creation of our minds. In fact, everything is a creation of our minds, since everything is merely imputed from the side of the mind. And particularly the appearance of things existing from their own side is a creation of the mind. When we're afraid, when we're upset, it's all in the context of everything being inherently existent, when in fact it's not like that. So there's nothing to be attached to, nothing to be afraid of. all causative phenomena are like lightning. There's a flash of lightning in the sky at night when it's very dark, and suddenly everything appears very clearly to us, and then in a moment it's gone, and all you're left with is this impression, this memory, an image. So just like that, for a moment, there was the appearance of this course with the presence of Zopa Rinpoche. Now it's gone. Where is that meeting? Just a few moments ago we were sitting here meditating on calm abiding. Think how vivid it all seemed at that moment. Now where is it? All that we're left with is an impression on the mind, an image, memories. So that solid appearance, as it was happening, is just a trick on the mind. A trick the mind is playing on itself. Everything is in fact just like a lightning flash, over so quickly, so that all you're left with is impressions and memories and imprints. And all causative phenomena, everything which is impermanent, is just like a cloud. Just like clouds, changing constantly, even as you're watching them. Especially the clouds you see being brought, carried here and there by really strong winds, changing just as you look at them. So also everything around us is constantly changing all the time. Due to the merit or the virtue of meditating in this way, due to all of the virtue of oneself and others that ever has been done, anything good that ever has been done, anything good that ever has happened, everything good that is happening, or that ever will happen due to that, may all beings be happy. really happy.